It is 7 o'clock.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand for our invocation and pledge.
Let us pray. Almighty God, giver of all good gifts, source of wisdom, fountain of virtue, bless all of us who gather in your name to do the people's business. Hold before us a vision of truth and fairness and of mutual respect. Strengthen our resolve to do what is right and good, that in all that we do, we give honor and glory to your name. Amen.
Join for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Old will roll, please.
Carrie Hodge, Ward 1.
Yeah, I think so.
Judy Stepp, Ward 2. Louis Consmeyer, Ward 3.
I am here.
Lindsay McDaniel, Ward 4. Diane Tate, Ward 5.
Here.
3 Sundays.
Taff Wren, Ward 6.
Here.
Thank you, Meredith. First order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from February 16th. And those amongst us have had an opportunity to look those over since Tuesday. I guess those that aren't amongst us could have done that too, but it doesn't really matter right now, does it? We've had a chance to look these over and have an opportunity to make any edits or corrections. And if there are none, motion would be in order.
Mayor, I didn't see any corrections or additions. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And I will vote in the affirmative as well on everything this evening, Ms. Ulmer. So if you'll please let the record reflect that, as 4 votes are required to pass anything. We won't vote on the first item. Ms. Brock, if you'll get us started on that.
Yes, Mayor and Council. This is the first reading of the ordinance for the electric vehicle charging station rider. This rider will allow the city to charge all electric vehicle operators who charge at a city-owned electric vehicle station. The customer will be charged an additional flat rate the first 2 hours, and beginning at the start of the 3rd hour, a consumption-driven charge will apply. If a customer stays connected for an extremely long time, the rate will escalate to a much higher rate until the daily maximum has been reached. Your approval of this rider is recommended.
And are there any questions on this item?
Mayor, do we have any electric cars in our fleet yet?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Is that being discussed and considered?
We will look into it, yes. We've talked about it, but we have not purchased one yet.
Dan had a hybrid. I guess that's, I see you about to hurt your shoulder, patting yourself on the back with it. I just figured I'd let you know.
The thing is, there aren't a whole lot of places to charge them the range on them now that could. Yeah.
What is the daily maximum charge?
It usually takes about 3 to 4 hours for a complete charge, but if someone stays, they can stay plugged into it until they physically remove it. If they choose to do that, we will just charge them at a higher rate so that they will not do that again.
So you want to know the dollar amount?
I was just interested what the amount.
It's about $8 for a full charge.
All right, this is the first reading of the ordinance. We'll take this up for final consideration at our meeting on March the 16th.
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Brock. The next item, please.
Yes, Sheet Metal Components held their contractor bid opening for the DCA EIP grant on Friday, February 24th. C.H. Kirkpatrick Construction was the low bidder as well as the sole source bidder. The bid amount was for $315,940.69. DCA will fund up to $239,000 and Sheet Metal will be responsible for the difference. The contract between Sheet Metal and Kirkpatrick has been reviewed by Keith since the city is the fiscal agent. I ask for your approval of the contract between Sheet Metal and Kirkpatrick, subject to DCA approval.
Any questions or discussion on this item? If there's none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I will vote for the affirmative as well.
Thank you.
Tamara. The next item that shows up on the agenda, we're going to remove that for this evening. There's still a little bit of work to be done with that, so we'll move on to Greg, your item, Mr. Anderson, regarding the letter of supplemental agreement.
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. As y'all remember, at the last work session, we had a discussion on the Leak Mounds Trail and the grants, and it was agreed upon by y'all to get our Representative Jeff Lewis to ask DOT if we could combine the grants, and he did, and DOT has allowed that to happen. This letter is just really us officially, formally requesting that those grants be combined, and that's what the letter is. The supplemental agreement goes with the agreement that council approved in December of this past year. It is part of the Leak Mounds Trail, and this supplemental agreement, what it does is it changes the grant amount and the match. The grant amount is now $1,610,000, and that is combining the Leak Mounds Trail grant and the Pettit Creek Trails grant. And the city's match with the supplemental will be $402,500. And this supplemental agreement was reviewed by city attorney, and I recommend the approval of this supplemental grant by mayor and council.
Questions or any discussion?
Mayor, if you wouldn't mind just telling us briefly, starts at Sam Smith and goes to,
The Leak Mounds Trail, it goes to Leak Mounds. It goes to the Leak Mounds Canoe Kayak Launch. It'll share that parking lot will be a shared trailhead. It's approximately 1.7 miles. It leaves Sam Smith Park there in front of the bus barn, crosses Cummings Road, goes parallels Walnut Grove Road, goes in front of the water department's office, and then goes in front of the wastewater treatment plant, cuts down behind the Dollar General store, crosses Pettit Creek about 50 to 60 feet below the existing old iron bridge across from Ladd's. Then when it crosses Pettit Creek there, parallels 11361, then goes in behind Monitor Corporation, and then comes out at the Canoe Kayak Launch parking lot trailhead.
that'd be great. There was no way that old iron bridge could be used, was there?
No, ma'am. That again, as in our discussions previously, that is really the purpose. That what started this trail grant is what started us on this grant was to rehab that old bridge. And then through testing, it was determined that it was not salvageable.
And there was some discussion about even building a bridge inside a bridge.
That is correct.
And that just
That was
safe.
not feasible to do.
Thank you.
Very good. Chair will entertain a motion if there's no other discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Before you move on, Greg, I do want to publicly thank our DOT Commissioner, Jeff Lewis, for his work on this. I know you've put an awful lot of time into it, but the fact that he was able to make that come through for us and get that project going is a big benefit to the community, and I just want to publicly thank him for his efforts in that
Yes,
regard.
sir. I do too. And you're right that we would not have been going forward without his assistance.
Very good. Next item.
The next item with the previous passage of the previous item, this is the construction bid for for this trail. Bids were advertised and posted. We received 5 bids back, ranging in at the high bid was over $3.6 million. The low bid from Llewellyn Construction for the base bid, the alternate 1 bid, and the alternate 2 bid, which is the entire trail that I just described earlier, in the amount of $2,153,462.80. Again, this will be paid for out of the $1.6 million grant, leaving a balance of $543,462.80, and this will be made up out of the city's match of the GO bond, and it is within budget, and we will have additional funds left on the trails for this. And I recommend, this project started before 2005, but 2005 is when we first started, when we first did the grant, and it's really been a lot of hair pulling and a lot of, I'm really glad we're at this point right here. And I would recommend approval of this low bid, and let Mayor that mayor and council authorize mayor to sign any and all related documents pertaining to this.
I should have asked you during the work session, when do you anticipate this project actually getting started, and is there a projected completion date?
Well, we're really under the gun to start it. There is a deadline unless we start getting trees cut down before April the 1st, because environmental regulations, the Indiana bat will have to wait later in the summer. So if we're able to get started and get trees, we can get them on the ground and then clean them up later, but we've got to get the trees down.
The trees or the bats?
The trees down so the bats won't be using the trees.
I got you.
But it should take less than 1 year once it's started, but if we don't get started by the April 1st.
So very, very quickly, we're going to be getting started.
Very quickly.
Very good. Thank you.
And while we're on the topic, it was mentioned to me, and I mentioned it to Dan, could you all work up kind of a progress report as to where we're at on all the park projects so we could update council? I forgot to mention that.
Is there something you want? I can do that now.
Not off the top of your
you
head,
want-
just get us something in writing.
I sure will. Be glad to do it for the next council meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so,
Mayor, just a comment. Buildings look great out at Dellinger Park.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
Thank
it
they-
just really looks
Yeah,
good. Greg, thank you.
They're very attractive. I agree with you.
Like the stone on them, that was
Yeah.
really good.
Sorry.
sorry for what? Make up for it by making a motion so we move forward.
Make a motion to
Thank
approve
you.
proudly.
Second.
Second proudly, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sanders, you got the next couple, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. The first item is the landscape maintenance contract for Oak Hill Cemetery. We opened 4 bids. The low bidder was Full Circle Concrete Construction from Cartersville for $3,575 per mowing event. It's a budgeted item, and we recommend approval of the low bidder.
Okay. Any discussion, and if not, a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Continue on, please.
Thank you. The next item is, we needed to do a combination of some maintenance and a repair on the ASL garbage truck. The total was $7,921.80 from CES Incorporated, and we have the funds budgeted and recommend approval.
Okay. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Chief Carter, please. Spent a lot of time in this building this afternoon, haven't you?
A little bit. This evening, sir, we're respectfully requesting permission to purchase 7 self-contained breathing apparatus air cylinders. These are the air tanks that the firefighters wear on their back when they're entering a hazardous atmosphere. Provides them with a breathable air. These 7 cylinders that we're asking to purchase will replace 7 that have gone past their 10-year life cycle per NFPA and DOT, and they're going to have to be removed from service. They're 45-minute, 4,500 PSI bottles that are brand specific of Scott through American Safety and Fire. The price per bottle is $970 per bottle. We're requesting a total of $6,790, which will include all shipping and handling of the bottles. This is a budgeted item and it falls below our project amount.
Okay. Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, next 3.
Good evening, everyone. I think first up, we have our material restock in the distribution and collection warehouse. This will be an assortment of pipes, valves, fittings, all the usual stuff we use to make repairs during normal operations. Bids were received. The low bid was from HD Supply Waterworks. That total was $7,636.15, and would recommend that for your approval.
Okay. Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, Bob.
Next up, we need to purchase a spectrophotometer for our wastewater lab. This is an instrument that we use 6 days a week. It is required both to operate the plant and to do our required regulatory reporting. The instrument that we currently have was purchased in 2008, and these things go very much like technology. They have a short life cycle, and this particular unit is no longer supported by the company. They're no longer going to make parts for it. So we need to replace it. We took bids. Fisher Scientific was the low bid at $6,152.57, and would recommend that for your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, and you've got the final item here.
Right. Last up, we have a final adjustment change order. We are finally wrapping up a project that started in 2014. You'll recall that we moved several sections of large diameter water main, and when the contract was adjusted to actual quantities used versus the bid amounts, there was a net reduction of $135,650.25. So this will effectively lower the overall cost of the project by that amount. It will bring the completed project total in at $1,445,639.52. So would definitely recommend your approval of that.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We do have one item
Thank
to
you.
add. I'm sorry.
Just a minute, yeah.
Sure.
And what we got, Bob. I want to remind you, I sent you a couple things this afternoon. He sent me a schedule on the high-pressure pumps at the water plant. There's a kind of a calendar in there, a 260-day calendar that we're underway on designing the improvements to that building. But as I talked to him, we need the pumps before we can do the building. Wanted to keep that in front of you, and we also sent you some 10-year updated figures on the water capital plan. We'll try to roll those into the budget where we can, but at some point we have to use some of the water's cash and issue debt to do that. You've got those in your email when you see them. That's what they are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Sam. Need to add an item to the agenda that'll require motion and approval. So Chair will entertain a motion to add an item to the agenda.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And the item is added. Mr. Lovell.
Yes, Mayor, it's necessary for the city to cross a Atlanta gas light facility in running our distribution line to the new Transco's transfer station. And according to the Public Service Commission rules, we have to file an application for that. So I would like y'all to authorize our office to file an application to allow for that crossing.
Okay. So they have to approve that after we file the application?
Yes, they do have to approve it.
Even though they don't regulate.
Even though they don't regulate us?
Yes.
So they don't regulate us, but we have to get them to approve an application?
Correct, because the General Assembly said they are in charge of safety.
And that's not the definition of
No.
No.
Okay.
I think it was-
Just want to make that clear.
It's okay.
Very good. Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Any other business that needs to come before council this evening? A couple notes I have. Our next, if I'm not mistaken, our next meeting is a morning meeting with Civic Youth Day.
Should be on the 16th. Yeah.
The March the 16th. We'll have our work session at 8 a.m.
That's right.
and our council meeting at 9 a.m. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. Also, just wanted to get into the record today. A few hours ago, we just did a fond farewell to Judy Jones, who after a 36-year stint with the city has decided to head off into retirement. She will be missed. She was a great part of our city. She'll continue to be a great part of our city. She just won't be doing it here at City Hall anymore. And I just wanted it in the record to offer our thanks for a job well done and for her contributions to the city. Anything else, council?
How about your mayor's march?
Come on out and hike Saturday morning.
That's right. So 11 o'clock at the Pine Mountain Trailhead. We'll gather about 10:45. We'll head up for Mayor Matt's March Mountain March.
Say that 3 times real fast.
I said it once, that's enough. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Taft. We're adjourned. Did not get a harumph out of that guy.
Ball game tonight.
Stay gold.
Ball game tonight.
Just time to go.
All right.